I know that you come for the title, or maybe the thumbnail, or maybe it's curious of what this guy do. But please stick around because this means a lot to me. So basically, I just want to talk about how delusion, fears, and some dark corners of the mind and it can become like a creativity, you know? So on a daily basis, ever since I would say 2018, I've become a different person. Complete like personality change. And that's partially because school, just drop out of school and just don't know where to go, and start taking not medication, education from the non-formal education. Wish you guys that watched the video about NFE video, not NFT, NFE, you might have like know the basic of it that I talk about in that video, how my experience with the NFE was. And like back then, I don't have like diagnosed, like I didn't go to the therapy or anything like that because I don't know, I wasn't sure whether I should go or not, and it was not too bad, I guess, but it was still bad enough for me to have bad dreams, so to speak, and just like overthinking, like fear. I have fear of like getting chased down by someone, or like, I have like paranoia that I will die at any time, at any given moment. That kind of fear just stuck with me, and it's not like because I been bad person or anything like that. I mean, I am a bad person. I was, but I changed. But in those moments, I really thought that someone is out to get me. Like I have many delusions. Most of which you would be laughing about because I was like, oh, maybe I'm gonna tell you about this delusion. I was like, oh, my mom is gonna go like to another city, and I was watching anime at the time, and I was like completely delusional. I was a teenager, and the first thing that came to my mind was like, oh, my mom is gonna bring me like two hotties, two anime babes to me. I was that lonely. The loneliness kicked in, and it mixed in with delusion, and then mom come back with no enemy like babes. I was kind of like disappointed, but at the same time I was like, why would I think that? Anyway, hold on, let me change some song I'm listening to. It helped with the time, tracking the time. Anyway, the more media I consume, the more vivid my fear had become. Every time I had to go outside, right? I would always fear like, if I go to the doctor, what if the doctor just grab a knife and just stab me? If I go to the market, what if someone just pull out a knife and just stab me? I don't even know if there's a term for it or not. Like fearing for death and in all kind of way. Imagine how you would die. Thousands of ways in just one day. Just stressful. So I would not go outside at all back then. Only at school, and sometimes when I have to go to an event and stuff like that, just to get my grade up. Interview work like that. And then I had that thought, and then I had dark thoughts about ending my own family and all that. It's another whole mess. I was not in the right mind for that, but I have some self restraint. I have some resilience to suppress those emotions and be better, which I am. I don't have any thought like of doing something like that anymore. Well, that was a fucking lie because I still have some thought for some people. But I'm not gonna say that I am contemplating on murdering anyone because I wouldn't do that. It's all delusion and fears in my head. I'm not right in the head. That's why I'm making this video. I just wanna have you guys see the side of me that I haven't really like go into detail on how I work daily and just exist in a way. I have like many stories that I haven't wrote down because I just don't feel like writing them down because it's gonna be a like rigid like system. The moment you write down stories, it become like canon or whatever. The first version you're gonna love it and it's perfectionism because the next time I would read it, I would record it and narrate it and have to put it out there, then it's gonna be like, oh yeah, now that's gonna be my definitive edition of that story. But I have a change of heart. Like if I don't do that, like Well, this video was, inspired by Kevin Parker from Tame Impala, and the way he like his mind work is kind of like me, and like sometimes he would just make music just for himself and not for others, so he wouldn't release any song, right? But over time he would release like more song and album and teaser and all that. So cool. And I think this is my first step to share the story with you, especially at like live storytelling, something which I really wanted to try as a VTuber, because it's like one of the niche thing that I can do. I can just make up a story on the spot. Uh, I swear I'm not like a lying and like a manipulative guy. I just happen to know how to do this. Look, I see stories in everyday life. I just walk by like one guy, at a food store in Thailand, and he would smile at me and he would talk good, like just, and then I would create a story of that guy being nice to people. It's that simple. Storytelling is not hard. It just takes a little bit more patience to actually realizing all that, all the gloom, all the sadness, and all the happiness is all the same. It's in the same room with us. Actually, that was a bad example because I want to talk about like my delusion, my illness, and my fears and into the darkest nightmare, the living nightmare that I live every day ever since 2018, like I mentioned before. And those will get extreme and extreme because I keep consuming like serial killer, that the crime stuff, and yeah, I would have nightmares about them, and I would like not tell anybody that I have that issue. Like I overthink about a doctor killing me, teacher suddenly like pull out a gun in the classroom and just shoot me in the head because I answered the question wrong. I have to live like that for like until recently, until I get medication, which is like it takes like, I think it was about like 2018. Wow, that was like 5 years, right? Because I only started taking medication since like 2023, so that's like 5 years, half a decade of that. Can you imagine living in like in the coldest place ever in your heart, and you have no mouth, and you don't even want to scream. You just want to get out. You don't want to scream. You just want to get out. Like you endlessly trying to find a way to get out of that, but the day of going out never came. I'm saying that and it's gonna flag as like suicidal thought or whatever, but I didn't mean it that way. I just want to get out of the cycle of that, just keep hurting me and hurt me. Nothing can improve and all that. Although 2022 was the best year of my life because I actually get to live like at least not with too much, scary thought that I would always do, always have. And then realities kick in 2003. I was like realizing how bad people can be, how low people can be, even with their own mother. So, yeah, I'm not talking about Christian, by the way. Yeah, it's nothing to do with this, but it's just funny that I mentioned about mother and abusing, like stuff like that. But yeah, that's just how I connected things together. Just don't mind it. But yeah, I turned like those fear into stories, like like I think it was like early or maybe like lately, like I imagine like someone would go into the psychiatric hospital, mental hospital, let's just call it that. And I would imagine like people going in there and just shoot guns in the it's like mass shooting, because I've seen that too many times when I was young on like Facebook and all that. It was some wild west, man. You can see all kind of shit on there, like on that website. It's Twitter was unmatched back then. Everything got leaked, and you can see a lot of stuff like execution video and gore and stuff. Man, back then it was like wow. But yeah, I would like seeing like those kind of thought just creeping in my head. Like, oh, what if a guy just come in and shoot everyone? And I tend to imagine it in a way that I am the hero. I pick up the gun or something, and I just just snag one of their gun and just shoot them back. And then victory, and then police would come and I would explain everything, and it would be so cool. I think there's one video which I'm gonna link maybe in the comment or in the description, that I think I found it on like a VTuber channel, but it's very relatable and it's real. I would say it's more common than you thought, but I wasn't spoiling anything. I'm just gonna leave you to it. But yeah, like this, I'm gonna give an example of a story that can come up in my head and narrate it like live, I suppose. Maybe it as a skeleton script of it. I haven't write this down on, at least not on paper. I did write it down with ChatGPT before, but usually I just use it for storing information, and yeah, it is stealing my information. I don't know who to trade information with, guys. Anyway, it was a little nuanced story about overthinking, and it's about me and my friend, and we were like at the entrance to onboard the spaceship or something, and people were already on board, including the security guard. And people would try to take like a spot, I guess. Like I just came out with like it's very vague because I came out with it literally like yesterday or like 2 days ago, and it was like, oh, we fighting people that tried to take a spot for like a mother and her child, and we were on the floor and we were like all bloody because we fight like ferociously like animal, and then people would like say that come in, like I got up, right? I got up from the beating and all that, and people were sharing me to get on board the spaceship because the earth was like bad or some shit. I don't know, but it was like a short story that I'm gonna make, which I'm gonna keep you to it now. And then I was like, I'm gonna pick my friend up, I'm gonna throw him in the rocket, I'm gonna on board, like getting on board, and then I would just look at him, and he would be like, Charnyte, no, Charnyte, don't do this. And then the rocket would fly away, right? And I would just walk in the hallway, maybe the kind of like it's vividly like it's like in blue, like lightning, airport, that kind of thing. So I would like walk in the hallway. And then suddenly I turn around and the rocket ship would explode. And I was like, huh. Well, not that reaction. That's a what weird reaction. I would be like, oh shit. I saved my friend, but at what cost? He died now. And then it looped back to the point where I'm still walking. And it was like about me overthinking. Overthinking the future. And I thought the rocket would explode. And then I would be like, man, I gotta go. I gotta go. Maybe like it's gonna happen. It's gonna explode. And I would try to get into the the place where they fix the rocket or whatever, they control the rocket. Maybe there's some heating issue that make it explode and go boom. And so I would try to go there, and then I finally did it. I solved the issue that it's gonna go boom. It's gonna go like into burst into flame. Like boom. I'm a human being. I can make that noise. That's a German reference. But yeah, then it's gonna cut back to where I'm looking behind. And then it's not gonna go boom. Like that's how anxiety and overthinking works. And you sometimes become so delusional about it. You just think that you're gonna save everyone, because that's the last resort of like trying to. It's kind of like 5 stages of grief. The last part is like acceptance. So the ultimate ending would be the protagonist, which is me, right? Looking back at the rocket, it's not exploding. Nothing is going wrong. I'm just limping away. I'm just limping away in the hallway. I'm not even trying to get to the control room. I know I can't do that because I was badly injured. Okay, maybe the analogy for this story and all the story I want to tell is not too accurate, because this one is they are half-baked compared to other story like Lynn's story, which I have poured so many hours into by just chatting with ChatGPT and trying to get like a response. I know I could just do that with human, but like I tried. I'm not saying that I'm a genius or I'm too much for other people, but I do feel like I am sometimes. And that kind of, self-conscious just put me on the spot to where I just thought, I'm just gonna talk to an AI. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. And one of the Discord server, it was like, so writing happened, they were like, do not use AI for any reason or whatsoever. And I was like, oh, I guess it's not my kind of place. To be fair, I don't use AI to generate like context for me or stuff like that. It's usually like me talking about stuff, then the AI just fucking asks me what happened next, and I would explain what happened next, and then he would ask me what happened next again and again, and so it's basically like a getting feedback from a person, but it's from an AI. I don't have many friends that understood me on this level. I'm not saying AI can be everything and all that, but it is helpful sometimes. Anyway, that was like, yeah, I shouldn't say that again, because if I say that, it sounds like I'm gonna end the video and you're gonna be like, oh, it's not ending yet. Why you say that? I just want to talk about how delusion can change, like, and shape a person's mind, especially in like a creative work like this. It's just so strange that we bottle up all these feelings, and some people lash out on others, verbally or physically assaulting a person just because they are frustrated with what they're doing. But me, I turn them into stories. I turn my fears into stories. I turn my delusional thoughts in my head into a story. Every time I go outside, I would like think of a new story, like what happened, what is gonna happen to me. If I meet a friend, would I be so cool that they're gonna praise me or something like that? If they like my voice so much, if they would like the female voice so much, are they gonna try to kiss me and ask me out on a date? Something like that. I know my voice is not strong yet, but we'll see. But yeah, overthinking is one hell of superpower for me, because every time I think of something, I would overthink like what is gonna go wrong next. It's kind of like Murphy Law, it's just what is gonna go wrong next time. This time, what is going wrong? And then nothing goes wrong, because that's the reality. But the fantasy story or like sci-fi story that I have in my head, they always go wrong. There's something go wrong, and then something nice happen, and then something go wrong again. It's kind of like repeating the cycle. But it's interesting because like all of them they're not based on the same skeleton, but they based on my delusion and fears, which is something that I don't think anyone have, because it's in my brain, at least for the time being, unless they put me in like a brain tube or some shit. Please don't do that to my brain, even though I might be like a genius in the future or some shit. Don't do that. Oh, better yet, don't fucking copy my DNA and try to make a clone out of me, you sick fuck. I'm just kidding. Do whatever you want, just don't make it boring. But yeah, I think I'll end the video here. I've been yapping for 20 minutes. I'm gonna trim this down to like 16 minutes, maybe 18 minutes. I must say that I appreciate the fact that you watched through all of it. Even though it sounds like rambling sometimes, but that's usually how it goes. If this video, if this video get like 10 likes, I'm gonna release the polished version, I guess, for the story about the anxiety and overthinking. That one, I could just narrate it here, but I don't know if anyone is gonna care enough to get to this far. But if you like it that much, then 10 likes, and then you get the story, and I'll try to narrate it in a way they can see the picture, so like all kind of people can get to see it, can get to hear it, rather. Alright, thank you for watching. I'll be seeing you on the next video or on the next stream. If the video does well, the storytelling video, then I'm gonna try to experiment on stream by telling you a story live and let you choose the choice and option for the protagonist. And I'll make up things like, oh, what's gonna happen next? It's gonna be like almost like D&D stuff, and I'm the dungeon master. Alright, bye. Ciao.